Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to unlock a completely overlooked everyday superpower in the business world. We're taking something you literally do every single day, answering the phone, and showing you exactly how to transform it from just a mundane task into a massively powerful professional lever. We've pulled some absolutely incredible insights from top-tier communication research for this, and by the end, you're going to view every single ringing phone as a huge opportunity.
Ouch. We've all been on the receiving end of a greeting exactly like that, right? It's abrupt, it's totally unprepared, and honestly, it's a visceral punch to a client's confidence. This terrible first impression illustrates something critical before we even really get into our core analysis. A bad greeting can instantly ruin a client relationship before you've even had a chance to help them.
So, I have to ask you directly, are you absolutely sure you're answering the phone correctly? And I don't just mean being polite. We're talking about phone skills as a crucial business lever here. This is about your company's reputation, building trust, and driving real customer loyalty from the very first second of audio contact.
Here's the game plan for today. First, the stakes of reception. Second, the anatomy of a perfect call. Third, the essential magic phrases. Fourth, handling complex situations. And finally, the tools for success. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the stakes of reception.
Now, you might be wondering, why are we even talking about phone calls in an era completely dominated by emails, social media, and chatbots? Well, because the psychological stakes of a live human voice remain incredibly high. The phone is still the ultimate channel for urgent, trust-building communication. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever heard of the fourth ring rule? According to communication experts at A3Com, if you want to convey instant reactivity and professionalism, you absolutely must pick up the phone before the fourth ring. Waiting any longer than that subconsciously signals to the caller that their time isn't valued, or even worse, that your business is just totally disorganized.
Ultimately, how you handle reception matters because it sets the entire trajectory of the customer relationship. It's that crucial first contact that establishes trust right out of the gate. When you get it right, it allows for an immediate understanding of the caller's needs, which dramatically reduces your resolution time. And the end result? Massively increased satisfaction and overall caller loyalty.
Moving right along to Section 2, Anatomy of a Perfect Call.
Now that we know exactly what's at stake, let's move to and see how this builds, from the exact moment it rings to the second you hang up. There's actually a precise science to this. Our sources at Ringover and Citizen Call break down a successful call into these 5 chronological phases. You establish initial contact, you identify who the caller is, you qualify what they actually need, you provide the solution, and then you execute a clean sign-off. Listen, if you skip or rush any of these steps, the structural integrity of the entire call just collapses.
Let's get to the really good stuff. Section 3, the essential magic phrases. Knowing the steps is great, but how do you actually execute them? We're going to look at specific linguistic tools, let's call them magic phrases, that act as verbal keys to unlock customer satisfaction at each of those 5 steps. Let's start with the greeting. You should always use the 3-part greeting rule. It includes a buffer word, your company name, and your name. So it sounds kind of like this. Hello, Tech Solutions. This is Sarah from Customer Support. How can I help you today? It's energetic, it gives the caller immediate confirmation they dialed the right number, and it sets a highly professional tone right off the bat.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next concept, monogramming. Monogramming simply means using the caller's name to personalize the exchange. Seriously, people absolutely love hearing their own name. By saying something like, "I'd be happy to look into that for you, David," you instantly shift the tone from a cold, transactional interaction to a warm, collaborative relationship. It shows you genuinely intend to help them as an individual.
Once you are in the qualification phase, you need to use what's called feedback signals. This basically means actively reformulating the caller's need. By saying, "So, to make sure I have this right, you want your packages delivered on Friday?" You eliminate any chance of a misunderstanding. Plus, it proves to the caller that they're being actively listened to, which is incredibly comforting for them.
Now for the tricky part. Section 4, handling complex situations.
Of course, not every call is a perfectly straightforward request. Dealing with holds, transferring angry clients, or managing someone who is just entirely off topic is where your skills are truly tested. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast in how you take ownership. Saying "that's not my department" is an excuse that instantly frustrates clients. I mean, they don't care about your internal company structure. They just want a solution. The right way is to be proactive. I will connect you with the exact person who handles this. Boom. You become their guide, not a roadblock.
But what about putting people on hold? Callers absolutely hate losing control of their time. Never ever just say, "Hold please," and click away. You must ask for permission first. Spotlight this phrase right here. "May I put you on hold for a moment while I pull up your file?" Simply asking for their consent completely diffuses frustration and maintains a level of respect.
Sometimes, though, you get a talker. They start telling you all about their weekend fishing trip instead of the software issue they actually called about. To master the conversation, you need to use the redirecting technique. You basically just politely interrupt their tangent with a gentle question related to the call's actual purpose. For example, "Wow, that sounds like an amazing trip. Did you want us to get this software installed before you leave for that?" It smoothly brings them right back to business without being rude.
Finally, the sign-off. Listen, you can have a perfect call, but if you ruin the ending, that is exactly what they'll remember. The wrong way is hanging up abruptly or hanging up first. The right way requires thanking the caller, summarizing the action taken, personalizing the goodbye, and waiting for them to disconnect first. That guarantees a lasting, positive impression.
Let's look behind the curtain for our final phase. Section 5, Tools for Success.
A truly great human touch operates best on a solid foundation. The sources highlight several technological aids that completely supercharge an agent's ability to handle calls. We're talking about voice-over IP software, CRM integrations like Salesforce or HubSpot, interactive voice response to route calls before they even reach you, and even AI voice agents to handle initial qualifications and overflow.
Take the soft phone, for instance. It literally transforms your computer into your entire phone system. So the crucial point is that when you combine a soft phone with a CRM integration, the moment the phone rings, the caller's entire history pops up right on your screen. You have the exact context you need to deploy your magic phrases perfectly, use their name instantly, and fully anticipate their needs before you even say hello.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway. You now have the psychology, the anatomy, the magic phrases, and the tech stack to completely change how you handle the phone. So I leave you with this provocative question to think about the next time you hear that ringtone. Will your next call be just a simple, forgettable conversation or an unforgettable customer experience? Thank you so much for joining me on this Explainer.